I watch as he strides down the path, pressing the remote to unlock his car as he walks. He gets into the driver's seat, then he's off, speeding down the road. He shouldn't be speeding, not with the state of those brakes, but he thinks he's safe. He doesn't know that he's not. I follow him, wanting to see it happen with my own eyes, wanting to see him dead. He deserves to die. He's a bully, a cheat, scum. He doesn't know that I know about him, know all the awful things he's done. He's heading down the hill now, and the lights are changing. I know he won't be able to stop in time. I can imagine his panic as he stamps down on the brake pedal and finds that it doesn't work, that he can't stop his descent down the hill, can't stop as a lorry emerges out of the side road. I pull over and watch as the lorry smashes into the side of his car. I hope the lorry driver's okay. I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Only him. I hope he dies. Chapter 1. Freya. Monday. "Wake up, Phil," Freya whispered, holding her husband's hand as she sat beside the hospital bed, a place she'd barely left since that devastating moment on Friday evening when 2 police officers had knocked on the door to say that Phil had been seriously injured in a car accident. "Please, wake up." She searched his face for any sign of consciousness. He looked gaunt, ashen-faced, vulnerable, with the 3-day-old dark stubble covering his usually smooth chin, and his short, treacle-brown hair ruffled up like hedgehog spikes. Wires attached him to an assortment of machines that bleeped away in the background. A bandage was wrapped around the top of his right arm where it had been cut in the accident. They said some of his ribs were broken and his legs were badly bruised, but he was breathing unaided, which the doctors assured her was a good sign. They were confident he would wake up soon. She prayed he would. If anything happened to him, if he died, or was brain damaged, she would never forgive herself. Apparently it was only the side airbags that had saved him from serious injury or death. His precious BMW, the pride of his life, was a write-off. "Oh, Phil, why did you have to storm out like that?" she whispered, her eyes resting on the small cut on his forehead for a moment, then flicking down to his closed eyes. He looked strangely peaceful, as if he were in a deep sleep. Well, that's what a coma was, she guessed, a deep sleep. She used to love watching him sleep when they were first married, to see his chest rise slowly up and down, his eyes sometimes flickering as he dreamt, marvelling at how lucky she was, what a fairy tale her life had turned out to be. Sometimes he would mumble in his sleep, but she could never understand what he was saying. They were unintelligible sounds. She'd give anything to hear them now, to see his eyes open, to know he had suffered no lasting damage. She squeezed her eyes closed and took a deep breath to calm herself. If only she could turn back time, back to 3 days ago, no, to longer ago than that, back to when they first got married. They had been so happy. It had all been perfect, the wedding, the honeymoon, perfect. How had it all gone wrong? If only she could change it all. If it wasn't for her, they would be in Dubai now. Instead, Phil was lying in a hospital bed and she was keeping permanent vigil by his bedside, unable to sleep, to function, consumed by despair and guilt. It was touch and go at first, the doctors had told her. The lorry that Phil had crashed into had pulled his car underneath its carriage. The driver, shaken up and bruised but not severely injured, said that Phil hadn't slowed down at the crossroads, had sped straight into him, that it had no time to swerve. Why hadn't Phil seen the lorry? Why hadn't he braked? Was it because he'd been too upset to think straight? Or did he intend to kill himself? There it was, the thought that kept nagging her, refusing to go away. Had Phil purposefully driven at the lorry, intending to kill himself?